first we all need to know why it is important to study the chemistry and what is the importance of the subject. So as you all know, physics, chemistry, bio, these are the basic core science subjects, and they contribute a lot to all the necessary things what is required for a life to sustain on earth, and that is how their study has been generated. Since morning, when you get up, till late night, when you are going to bed, at every moment you are using one or the other concept of chemistry or other contribution of chemistry, be it the toothpaste you are using in the morning, the clothes you are using, the vehicles which you are driving, or at night when you are taking your bed sheet or the air conditioner which is in your room. In every basic amenity of the life, one or the other form of chemistry is used. So that is why, while knowing the basic concepts of the subject, it becomes very easy or very free flowing to understand how to perform a simple work in a more efficient manner. So we need to study chemistry very nicely and thoroughly. Now, how a scientific advancement can be done with the help of chemistry. So nowadays, as you all know, we are trying very hard to fight the coronavirus, and you all know it is only the protein shell which need to be decomposed to get rid of the virus to find the vaccine. So just knowing the components, the composition of the protein shell which is covering the virus, and the type of surface to which it is attaching, all this is a part of chemistry only. So you can understand we have to go through the subject and we have to assimilate it in our life. So now when you are going to study in class 11, one question may arise that we have studied basic things in class 10, what is the requirement to study it in class 11? The first thing happens, till class 10, you people get a very, very elementary education. But now onwards, we need to find the reasons behind everything, whatever you study. So these concepts are more elaborated, more widened, and you need to understand it very deeply. That is why we need to study it in class 11 level. Now, very scientific terms which we use in our advanced science also, advanced scientific researches, these terms originate from your 11-12 studies basically, and they are only elaborated in the later or higher level education. So we need to be very much through with these terms, and that is the requirement. Every term has to be related with its name and the concept with which it is associated. Then there is a systematic study, one chapter after the other. There is a significance behind its study. Like अगर आपने structure of atom नहीं पढ़ा तो आप periodic table को ठीक से नहीं समझ पाएंगे. So that is the reason we have arranged chapters in a very systematic manner. That is another point of study which we need to incorporate. Then another important gesture which comes is you have to do a lot of numericals in this. By now, chemistry had very small part of numericals, but now onwards, there are a lot many numericals, mathematical expressions which we need to understand. We need to work it out, and we need to study how a simple variable may change the whole working, because one variable found out, it has to be replaced in another formula and it may change the value. So this simple working out, practically solving the numerical, that is another very, very important part of study of chemistry in 11 and 12. Now when we are going for the board paper, we have to make our strategy towards scoring good marks, and their mark distribution needs to be very clear. So in class 11 and 12, we have two papers. One is theory, another one is practical paper. So in theory paper, there is 70 marks and practical paper carries 30 marks. Now these 30 marks are divided into two parts. One larger question, that is question number 1, it carries 20 marks. Now these 20 marks are distributed in 4 parts. First A, which has fill in the blanks part, 4 marks. Options are generally given. Second one is MCQ, choose the correct option, it carries 4 marks. Third one, 1C, it is matching part where one chapter terms are to be matched with the other chapter terms. So this you may do. 1D contains all the subjective part, which may have 1 mark questions 1 into 8, but basically it has been divided into 4 questions of 2 mark each, very short questions. So this is whole question number 1, which is totally compulsory, no choices there, and you need to work hard towards scoring this because it contains questions from whole of the. Now rest part of the paper, that is question number 2 to 18, that is divided into 3 sections. First is question number 2 to 8, which carry 2 marks each, and there is internal choice in question number 2 and 7. Now what does internal choice mean? Actually what happens in question number 2, you will have 2 options A and B, out of which you have to attempt only one, or you will be marked upon only one. If you do both the questions, you will be given marks to the in the question where you have scored higher marks. So that is the meaning of internal choice. Same way in question number 7, you will have 2 questions out of which one has to be attempted, or you will be marked upon one only. Now we move from question number 9 to 15. Each question carries 3 marks each. But here also 2 questions carry internal choice, question number 9 and question number 13. Here we need to make sure that internal choice is generally belonging to same chapter. It does not belong to different chapters. So you cannot skip any part of syllabus to be left, or you have to study every part very nicely. Now question number 16, 17 and 18, they are very, very scoring, and the chapters which have been included in these part need to be very nicely prepared and thoroughly prepared. Now here, because each question carries 5 marks each, and there is internal choice in all 3 long questions. Now it is basically not long question. These 5 marks are again distributed into 1, 1, 2 or 1, 2, 2, or it may be any kind of bifurcation, which make a set of 5 mark questions. So whatever chapters are included in question number 16, 17 and 18, they are of very much importance. So you need to prepare yourself according to this mark distribution in the paper. Now next we have to study how the study of chemistry has been divided. There are basically 3 branches. One is physical chemistry, another one is inorganic, and third one is organic. So this is the division you must be understanding. Maximum weightage has been given to physical chemistry, that is 32 marks. Then inorganic carries 15 marks and organic contains 23 marks. Now which chapters are included in which part to understand. Now this is our physical chemistry. That makes the basis of all the study of chemistry. Without studying this part, we cannot understand any other concept of the subject chemistry. So we need to study it very, very thoroughly. And you see 2 chapters, chemical bonding and equilibrium, they are of very high weightage. So while studying this, we must be paying attention to what chapter carries how much weightage of marks, and under this weightage what kind of questions may be asked. Like in structure of atom, we may have certain proofs or derivations, but these derivations are not asked, as the chapter carries 5 marks weightage only. So there is no point of getting 1 5-mark question. Rather it will be 2 2 1 or 1 1 1 1 1. Anyways, the short questions, the definitions, the reasonings, they need to be understood very nicely. So these are 7 chapters included in physical chemistry. One is inorganic chemistry. Here one is redox reaction. It is elaboration of oxidation reduction, what you have studied in junior classes, and the maximum amount of understanding what you study in this chapter, that will be helpful further in the next classes in balancing the equations. So this needs to be understood very, very thoroughly. Then next three chapters which are there in organic chemistry, they are basically equation based and reasoning based. So reasoning part is related to periodic table when you will be studying, but reaction part you can keep on brushing. They are basically those reactions only which you have done in class 10 and even in junior classes. Hydrogen you have studied in class 8, so you can relate up to that, or whenever you get time, you can just go through the things so that familiarity is developed and you can do things in a better manner. Last is organic chemistry. Here you see there are two chapters carrying 10 marks weightage. And the first one, some basic concepts of organic chemistry. This is basic of all the organic chemistry which you have to study now onwards. Up to whatever level you are going to study organic, this chapter will be utilized one or the other way. So we will be starting with this chapter only, some basic concepts of organic chemistry, and this we cannot skip anyways. So from the very beginning, be attentive, and when we keep on relating with the studies of junior classes, we'll be able to understand it very, very nicely and easily. Then hydrocarbon, it also has a relevance with the methane, ethane, ethene, ethyne, what you have studied in class 10. So their structures, nomenclature and basic reactions we can revise and brush up in these chapters. Environmental chemistry, you know, it is of lot of this industrial importance, and at the same time economically also it is very much required. So the basic things, terminology and the substances which are used for environmental chemistry, that has to be studied. So this was all about your subject chemistry introduction. Next class onwards, we will be studying the chapter basic concepts of organic chemistry. And here we will be starting with the nomenclature of organic compounds. So here we will be starting with that. Till then, keep brushing, be prepared. All the best. Thank you.